Good afternoon. Good afternoon, child. Good evening, beautiful people. Oh, goodness. This has been one of the biggest challenges I've ever had in my whole entire life, just getting to a place of being consistent. However, welcome. My name is Kim. This is Be Youthfully You, where we talk about all things that allow us to become our greatest person that we inspire and desire to be. So, I don't want to hinder myself because I will start to overthink things. And when I do that, I don't get anything accomplished. So I'm just going to jump right into it. So I want to start this new segment called Are You Ready to Live? Because that's really where I am. I'm in such a place in my life now where I am saying, Kim, are you really ready to live? Like for real, like, are you really like ready to live? And when I say that, I mean in a sense of like, doing all the things that you wanted to do, not being afraid of who it is that you are and what it is that you said the desires of your heart are. Going to those places, going in depth, being willing to talk about things, because what I love to do is to be able to talk about things that we do as human beings, not just as men and women, but truly as human beings, and being that best person, honey. But you got to know what that best person is going to look like. So sometimes you have to pull out that pen and pad and write those things down, because guess what? It's not going to ever give if you don't get up and get out there and give it. That's just where we are. As you see, I got my girl on TV behind me, Miss Chelsea Danielle. I actually met her earlier this year, and it was so sweet. And needless to say, I will admit the fact that I did have it on my bucket list to meet some key influencers that I really do like, and like I like their content, and I just enjoy them being them. I enjoy their vulnerability and just enjoy them just finding their way through. And like with Chelsea, like I call some of them like my YouTube nieces and stuff like that. But I tell them all the time, it's like, baby, listen, this life is a journey, and you are going to constantly for the rest of your life be trying to figure it out. You're going to be trying to figure it out the rest of your life. There will never be a I'm here and I've landed and that's just it. That's not even real life. So I can already tell you that that's not going to happen. I've been here long enough to know. Trust me when I tell you, it's a constant elevation. It's a constant elevation. There will be mountaintops, I will say that, but there will always be the next mountain. There will always be the next mountain. And in this journey of life, there should always be another mountain. There should always be another mountain that you're looking to climb, because you should always have different aspirations. There should always be new things that you're wanting to do, new things that you're wanting to try, places that you want to go, food you want to eat, hairstyles you want to try. I mean, it should be anything, but whatever that is, to feel free to be whoever that is that you want to be is what you should be able to be. And it should not be limited by anybody else's thoughts, anybody else's feelings, what anybody else thinks, says, or believes. That has nothing to do with you. That ain't got nothing to do with you. You are entitled to feel how you want to feel in this life. As long as you're not hurting anybody, as long as you're not taking anything from anybody, and as long as what it is that you are reaching for and who it is that you want to become does not diminish anybody else, then guess what? You should feel free to do and be just that, and it shouldn't matter. So, in discussing Are You Ready to Live, the topics that I want to talk about today, I just want to kind of, like I said, I'm working my way into and working my way through creating a format for myself. It's been a long day. And I am, like I said, just feeling my way through this thing. So in order for me to get better, I got to do better. In order for me to do better, I got to do every day. So I'm going to put forth my best effort to do every day. If y'all can commit every day or whenever it is I'm posting to watch. That's a deal? Deal. Okay. So today I want to talk about creating your own standards. Just kind of ties right into where I was going with everything I was discussing. So let's start with creating a bubble. Create your own bubble, again, that is based off of who you are, who you want to become, what it is you want to be in this life, what real life looks like to you. And as long as it's not taken from anybody, feel free to be you every single day. Every single day. You are entitled. Y'all might see me look down because I got little notes right here. Because again, I'm trying to keep myself on track. Okay, so it's going to be about the quality and not the quantity. So I have 2 key points that I want to discuss today. So creating a bubble. I want you to be non-comparable, means non-comparable, should I say. Means that you don't have to compare yourself to anybody. You don't have to compare yourself to anybody. You are the standard. You are what you're looking for. You possess everything that you're going to need to become who it is that you want to be. There's no limits on that. There's no limits on that. Whatever it is that you want to be, and whatever it is, however it is that you want to look, the clothing that you want to wear, the hairstyle that you want to wear, if you want blue eyes, green eyes, whatever, you can do and be whatever it is you want to be. If it's something you want to try, you can try it. I had a whole phase of maybe 3 years or whatever, 3-4 years. I wore hazel brown contacts. I actually still got some in there. I think I found some a few weeks ago. That was who I wanted to be at that time. And I just loved it. I loved it. So if you ever seen the pictures with me with light eyes, just know that was the phase I was in at that moment. And it was not up to anybody. My husband came home one day and I had hazel eyes and he said, "You have got to be kidding me." I thought it was so funny, but it was so sweet. But that's the phase I was in. He just let me run with it. So phase 1, be non-comparable. Be non-compliant, and in some cases, honey, you may have to be nonchalant because you have to learn how to let things just roll right off, because there are always going to be opinions. My mama used to have a saying about opinions in certain body parts. If you know, you know. And what opinions are like, and everybody's got one. But your opinion does not mean that has become my way of life. It does not mean that has to be my way of thinking. It does not mean that has to be who I become. It doesn't mean any of that. It don't mean any of that. But what it does mean is that I, again, get to be me. I get to be who it is I decide that I want to be every day. That means that you get to decide who it is that you want to be. You do not have to conform. You do not have to be compliant, because the rules that they make does not mean that those are the rules that you have to live by. That ain't got nothing to do with you. That ain't got nothing to do with you. That's what they thought. That's their idea. That's their feelings. That's what they think. That's what they want. That's actually probably who it is that they want to be. But guess what? That ain't who you got to be. That's not who you have to be in any way, shape, or form. That ain't who you got to be. It's not who you have to be. Yeah, I said it. That is not who you have to be. Because you don't owe them anything. And if you ever really just take a few minutes to think about it, they always got something to say. But when it's time for them to speak up, they have nothing to say. They never are jumping up and, yeah, it was me that said that. They ain't gonna never do that. Because they ain't ballsy enough to do that. But they'll sit back and have a whole bunch of opinions about who it is that you should be. And guess what? In the end, they still going to be sitting back there in the back somewhere in the cut with their opinion. And that is perfectly fine. That's fine. It's free. It's in the Constitution. You can say whatever you want to say over there, though. You can say it over there. You are more than free. That's your mouth. You can say whatever. You can do whatever you want to do with it. But so can I. Be clear on that. Number 2, confirm your courage. Confirm your courage. Yes, you are stronger than you think you are. Yes, you are. Yes, you are capable of doing anything that you really want to do. Anything that you put your mind to, you can do it. Believe me when I tell you, if you put your mind to it, good, bad, or indifferent now, you can do it. You can do it. When I tell y'all that after my divorce and after I had a chance to really sit and think about the freedoms that I take away from myself, that I took away from myself. Because the one thing that I had to learn was that nobody was responsible for me but me. Nobody was responsible for my behaviors but me. I did not owe my life to anybody but me. I didn't owe it to nobody but me. I would sit and just feel like, okay, I can't do this, I can't do that, you know. I have to be this person. I have to be this wife. I have to be a mother. This is, you know, who I am, and, you know, all of that. So in sitting and assessing all of that, all of those mixed up feelings, all that jumbled up, I'm a Virgo, so I think, like, constantly I'm thinking. And when I took and sat with myself for a while, I mean a good while, and I had a lot of decisions to make. And nobody was going to be responsible for those decisions but me. The one thing I had to realize was, first and foremost, nobody was coming to save me. Nobody. So I had to sit down and think through not only what was best for me, but what was best for my then 12-year-old son. So I had to get myself a planner and devise myself a base of operations and how I was going to do things in my life going forward. The things I wanted to do with my life going forward. Who it is that I wanted to become going forward. Knowing that no one could place any limitations on me but me. Truly, not only was the sky the limit, baby, the universe. Y'all see what they show when the rockets are in space and all that? Yeah, my limitations were way out there, which means limitless. That's just the way I had to look at it. It was limitless. Nobody could put any limits on me. Nobody. No bounds. Just me. And it's like, okay, Kim, what are you going to do? What are you going to do? So I sat and I made an assessment of myself. It didn't matter, again, what anybody else said. It was what it was that I wanted to do. Because guess what I realized? Everybody else was doing exactly what they wanted to do, including my ex. I could not get upset about that. Because as an adult, I was not confined. I grew up with, I'm the child of a baby boomer, right? So there were certain standards. There were self-imposed limitations that I put on myself. And I don't hold anybody responsible for that but me. I did not have to do things in the way that I did them. However, I chose to. It was important for me. It's always been very important for me to know that what I did was, what's the word I'm looking for? It was important to me what my children saw and what my children thought. It was always very, very important. And so being at home, being a mom, not really doing many things. Like I said, there were times I would spend my vacation a whole week at home. I would be cleaning and painting and wallpapering and cleaning carpet and all of that. But that's what I chose to do. So again, those are limitations that I placed on myself. Like I said, there was nothing wrong with that. However, what I do know is, in retrospect, there were things that I could have been doing, but because of those limitations, that mindset that I had been not only raised with, but now I have set for myself as a mother and a wife, that was as far as I could go. I remember once upon a time when I didn't even own a pair of jeans. Can y'all believe that? At one point, I didn't even own a pair of jeans, but I was together. Anywhere, if you needed to go anywhere from the trap house to the White House, I was ready. But I didn't even own a pair of jeans. I was always ready for work. I was always ready for work. But when it came down to just Kim, if you were to say, girl, come on, let's go hang out for a little while. Let's go get something to eat, child. Like, wait a minute, hold on. What am I going to wear? What am I going to wear? You know? But once I sat and made some decisions about myself, knowing that, again, I was capable of doing and becoming whoever it was I wanted to be, I started setting some different things in motion. I set some different things in motion. So just learning to really appreciate the freedoms that I had, I learned to realize, yes, you can. Yes, you can. Yes, you can, Kim. Yes, you can. And it's okay. It's okay. It don't matter. It's not about the judgment. It's not about any of those things, because people going to think what they want to think. Either way, it doesn't matter. It don't matter. Somebody going to always have something to say about something, honey. It don't matter. Regardless of what it is, you're never going to make everybody happy. But how about if you start with making you happy? What does that look like? Good question, because I didn't even know. How about that? So, this life is a journey. I said all that to say that this life is a journey. And yes, you have a lot of decisions to make, and you will constantly, until you depart from this land, you will constantly have a series of decisions to make each and every day. And for me, sitting here and push and play, once again, is one of my decisions. It's one of my decisions. And every day, I'm going to have another decision to make. And another day, I'm going to have another decision to make. So it's going to be different backgrounds as I'm going through this. It's going to be, just Kim sitting here pressing play. Y'all wouldn't believe I got a DJI sitting right here beside me. DJI. Y'all know what I'm talking about, the gimbal. And for the life of me, I could not figure out how to make it record. I done turned it on. I got to track my face and all the things. But I had been sitting here because I can't remember. Because guess what? If you use it enough, Kim, you will remember. So guess what? This is not my obligation to me. This is my obligation to me. This is my next decision that I'm making. Because this right here is what I want to do, where we can talk. We can create a community where we can sit and talk as women. We can talk. Girl, we can talk about anything. We can talk about anything. Because we're all women. We're women. It's going to be the girls. And the girls have things they need to talk about. And I know we do. So, with that being said, I'm going to bring this video to a close. And I'm going to ask you all to like, comment, subscribe, and share. Because the girls need to know that the girls need to talk. The girls need to talk. We got things to talk about. And when I tell you, yes, I am a seasoned sister, okay? I am 57 years old and proud, all right? So just know that it's been several different flavors, baby, that's been placed into this seasoning, okay? Because I'm not salty, so I ain't going to say seasoning salt, but this is a lot of spices going on over here that makes me who I am, okay? So just know that on Beautifully You, you get to be the very best you, whatever that looks like, and nobody can tell you any different. So until the next time, my loves, I will talk to y'all soon. Y'all be blessed.